Hey, it's Panzerkunst here, and I just finished grinding the Westland P1056 on my way to the Javelin. Because in a recent forum post talking about tier 10 heavies against bombers, some people were saying the Javelin is pretty good. And since I always spam 2.62s, why not try something different? So I'm making my way up. I just finished grinding it. I didn't enjoy it. The guns seem pretty good with over 1,000 cumulative damage, but they just don't hit as hard as I'd want them to. The bombs and rockets are very nice. You can't solo cap a mining plant or anything like that, but with the right timing and the right kind of placement, you can do at least over half of a lot of the caps. But the biggest thing for me is this reload time, 150. If this was 120, then this would be awesome. But 150, you could only really use it like 2 or 3 times a game. So that kind of sucks. The speed is also a big factor. At 822, I couldn't run away from things. I couldn't even get away from a vampire. And there's not enough boost. This should be like 25 seconds. And altitude is another big hindrance. Only 2,000 max optimal. I have trouble getting after RB-17s or even bot bombers. So it's really just a fat multi-roll in a sense. There's nothing too special about it. The bombs or the ordnance is a highlight. But I'm done with it. I'm gonna sell this now. And one little trick I learned, especially from tanks, when you're gonna sell something, equip all of the lowest modules here. Because when you sell something, the modules that are not sold go back to the depot, and the highest ones are sold. So if any of these are used in the next plane, which these are not, you have them in your depot already. You don't have to buy them. So you mount all of the lowest equipment. So all these are going to be sold, and these stay in your depot, which would have helped me if these used any, but it doesn't. But that's one trick you can do. The pilot, I don't even have a big, a highly trained pilot in here, but I'm done with this. I'm not even going to bother to specialize it. I had fun. Thanks for the good time. Send to barracks, equipment. I want to send all that to the depot. Consumables. I don't think I need to sell those. Everything to the depot here. And now I pretty much get a discount for the next one. So that's that. And now we're going to go to some recent highlights that I had with this plane. I even had a bomb trap, so that was a huge highlight for me. And yeah, it should be pretty fun. Alright, so here's the clip where I get a bomb trap on an XB-58. You see him there, the top player. So early on in the game, we cap the center, and I'm going on an attack for the mining plant. And I want to deal with these two ground attack aircraft here. So you see, I just don't do as much damage as I want. I leave him be. I'm coming in on this IL-10, lining up, and then I notice I'm right over that, so I drop a bomb. Multitasking here, multi-roll, right? Fat multi-roll. I take him out, and now I want to double back around to get another ground target, but we took the sector already, so I was able to take out that ground target and defeat that GA. That puts us in a nice spot here. Now I'm just trying to mop up the remaining enemies here. I make a turn, I see a heavy fighter, I don't know who it is yet, and that's him. And those huge 37s hit me, do some damage. And I look at what he's gonna do, and I see he's chasing me. So in this situation, look at my boost. I don't have any boost. I can't get away. I can't turn. I can't use altitude. There's really nothing I can do. But what I do have is this baby. I have a bomb. So I want to try to find a way to use that. So as one of my other videos, I mentioned about using terrain. I'm just trying to survive as long as I can here. And try to get him in the spot I want him to. Making a turn. He doesn't have a clean shot. I'm surprised he didn't hit me there, but he's not turning very well. I turn again. He gets my engine. He hits me again, but he's not turning very well. So I'm like, all right, I gotta get him closer. I gotta stall him. I need to get him closer. So he's lining up on me, and usually when you bomb trap someone, it has to be about 200 to 300 meters away. But when you're going as fast as we are in heavies, if I was to drop a bomb like right here, by the time it dropped, we would be past it already. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna drop a bomb way ahead of me in this area. Instead of dropping it like right here, I'm gonna pitch up a little bit to kind of throw the bomb over there. So by the time we pass, it gets him. So let's see exactly where I drop it. I'm lining up. I'm lining up. Okay, if I dropped it right there, it wouldn't have worked. He's pretty close to me, but I want to drop it a little further out. So right there. So the bomb is dropped. I aimed about this area. He's on me. There's not much I can do. And I go. He's shooting. I'm past. Oh! That was nice. He killed me, but I got him too. There's the bombardier medal. And he was a good sport about it. I think I throw up a happy face here. So that was very rewarding, and it's fitting that this was one of my last battles in the P1056. Alright, so in this battle, it's a tier 8, and I'm going up against the flighted pair of a IL-20 and a P-51H. So it's the very start, and I'm heading over to the mining plant over here, and I'm just lurking. I'm hunting for the IL-20 because I think he should be heading over here. I don't find him there, but I find him over here. He's so slow. He's barely making his way over. So I don't want to cause too much disturbance here. I'm not going to go head to head. I want him to get into the base so I can kill him there. I don't want him to be up here. So I disengage. He loses sight. I fly around. I want him to think that I'm gone. That I just did something else. So I'm looking for him. And then I spot him over here. And he's getting behind the rocks. So I'm like, alright, well, I gotta make a little attack run. And this is funny because I run rings around this guy. I dance around him, and he must feel so like, okay, I do an attack, right? So instead of just focusing on my time looping around him, I might as well take out a few ground targets, right? So I line up a bomb, throw 2 rockets, throw 1. That's 1 ground target. And in fact, if he was shooting at this one, he just made it softer for me. He's going after me, you see? He wants to kill me, but he's not even doing what he's supposed to do, which is attack the ground targets. So while he softened that up for me, I might as well take this one out too. So I'm a heavy, he's a ground attack, and I just did everything that he's supposed to do. So now he thinks, I'm like, alright, I'm gonna get out of here, I'm gonna go do something else. And I'm sure he thinks, alright, this guy is gone, he's gonna go do something else, so I can wait till the mining plant respawns and he'll just start attacking. But then I'm like, no, I'm not gonna let that happen. I take out his little brother here. And now that he thinks I'm gone, I'm gonna come right back, because if I leave him alone to his own doings here, he can take this out pretty easily. So I'm staying up high. I'm staying out of his line of sight. I see he's bombing. I have a good angle here, so I'm coming in behind. And of course I'm susceptible to bomb traps there, but luckily he didn't have one. And he's burning. Burn, baby, come on. I might get him right here anyway. But with the ordnance as a highlight of this plane, I was able to outplay that IL-20, distract him enough to go after me, and take out 2 valuable ground targets that render him basically useless and defend him once the plant respawned. All right, so in this last clip, it's the same battle that I had with the IL-20, but the game's pretty much over. We're ahead. We're gonna win, and I always try to get that last bit of that last kill, get those last personal points to end the battle strong. Because I can just kind of float off and do whatever I want. But look, I have my full ordnance loadout, and I have a full garrison here. So it helps knowing the point values of each ground target to know what you need to get. To get this, I believe it's 120. So those squares, this one right here and that one, those are 30 points each. Each gun is 20 points, and the little 4 tents is 10. So whenever I'm bombing, I look at the capture points that we need, and that determines kind of what I'm gonna do next. Or in my head, I try to make an idea. So I thought it was a pretty cool highlight here. I throw one rocket there just to make sure. I see that's already on low health, so I just throw rockets. Make a turn. And there's one low health there. Alright, we need 40, so that's 2 guns. We need 2 guns left. I'm gonna throw a bomb here. Down to 60 because another thing died. We're at 60. If I get this, I know we're at 20. Right, so at this moment, I know I need 20 more capture points. So that means I need a gun. I need to kill a gun. And when I look down, I don't see any guns, and trying to battle dogfight one of these guys is going to be impossible because they're bots and they're so annoying. But as I look down, I see these 2 tents, and they're 10 points each. So I know if I can get both of those, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna cap this base. So I do this at the last second. I'm like, 1 rocket, 2 rockets, throw 2 there. Need a rocket here. And boom.
We have complete control of the skies.
Just as the game ends.
I'm proud of you, pilots.
So now let's see how the P1056 stacks up in the Kunzer scale. The first rating, altitude, I gave it a 2 because you can't really use your altitude as a weapon. You can't go in the vertical to avoid. You can't get up to destroy bombers. It's just very limiting factor to it. And plus, it has a very slow climb rate. So it really struggles in the terms of altitude. Speed, I also have it get a 2 because I was having a hard time outrunning Mustangs, BF209s, even some multi-rolls. They were able to get on my tail, and I couldn't break away because it's so slow, and the acceleration, it's just not there. It takes way too long to get to full speed. The firepower, it's got 420s and 240s. They do pretty good, but they didn't do as much as I would have wanted. But what tipped the scales up to a 5 was the bombs and the rockets, because the whole package together, you can really do a lot of damage. So I have to give that a 5 on there. It's good firepower. And the last one, turning or maneuverability, I gave it a 3 because it's pretty much standard middle of the road. It turns exactly how you would expect the tier 8 heavy to turn, so no complaints there. And if we add everything up, it gets a 12, which falls under the meh category. And it kind of is meh, it doesn't have any redeeming features or something that it does really well, aside from the bombs, which take a long time to reload. But if we take a look at the stats I have in this plane, as you can see, I did 45 battles with 81 sorties. So my rule of thumb is I try to have the sorties be less than double the battles. So 45 times 2 is 90. I was able to stay alive at least 1 out of every 2 games. So that's pretty decent in my book. I was able to get 4.09 average kills per sortie, which, considering that I was focusing mostly on ground targets, pretty decent. I averaged over 2 ground targets per sortie, which is pretty good. And I did 10,000 damage on the ground and 2,300 to air targets. So if you look at the little numbers above, this app kind of uses like a Win8 scale. So the darker color, that's on the upper echelon of what players average. So that was pretty good. And 68%, I try to get planes up to 70. So it's not the best carry plane, but the highlight is definitely, look at that ground damage, 10,000 and damage to air targets. Although it's not elite, it still can do pretty well. So that was it. That was my experience with the P1056. I wish it well. It was fun. Goodbye. I'm on to bigger, better things like the Javelin. And once I get there, bombers beware. Peace.